What's up, TM Nation? Today we're taking a look at 3 pairs of earbuds that are very good choices for everyday use. We've got the Sony WF-C710, Sony's most affordable ANC earbuds, the One More Evo, which I've done several videos on and are one of my all-time favorites in terms of stemless earbuds, and the Raycon Everyday Classic, which have improved on the design of the OG Everyday earbuds, which I'll get into a little bit later. Now, for full transparency, guys, Raycon did sponsor this video. However, they do know that I'm going to compare their earbuds against 2 other heavy hitters, and I'm under no obligation to say only warm and fuzzy things about the Everyday Classic earbuds, as my opinions are my own and they respect that. So I will give you guys both the good and the not so good about all 3 pairs of these earbuds in this video. Starting with price, the Sony's retail for $130, but you can usually find them on sale for around $100. The One More Evo launched at $169, but at the time of the video, you can snag them for about $109, and the Raycon Everyday Classic come in at $79.99 retail, but are on sale at the time of the video for only $63.99, which is a heck of a deal. The Raycons are available in several different colors, but as you can see, I got the electric blue colorway. The case itself feels premium and solid with this nice matte finish that doesn't attract fingerprints. In addition, you can get the protective cover for the charging case if you'd like, and not only does it look cool, it also provides another layer of protection to the case to help prevent scratches, dings, dents, and things of that nature. In terms of design and build quality, the Sony case and the earbuds themselves are pretty standard. The earbuds themselves are rated at IPX4 for splash and sweat resistance, and you execute your playback functions with them via touch. The Evos hit that sweet spot in terms of the earbuds being not too big or too small. They're extremely comfortable for longer listening sessions. They do handle workouts reasonably well with their twist lock design. They are also IPX4 water resistant and feature touch controls for your playback functions. Now, the Raycons are designed specifically for the shape of human ears, and it shows pretty much immediately when you get your hands on them, and when you put them in your ears, they sit almost flush. So if you're the type of person that does not like the look of earbuds protruding out of your ears, these have got you covered. During my testing, these stayed put better than most competitors during gym sessions. The ergonomic design isn't just about looks, it creates a better seal, which means that you get better passive noise isolation and less sound leakage. They are also IPX4 water resistant, but one thing that I do want to note for you guys is that for you all that do not like touch controls, these have got you covered, because all of your functions with the Raycon Everyday Classic earbuds are going to be executed by one physical button on each earbud, which is an improvement for a lot of people who don't like touch controls over the OG Everyday earbuds. For connectivity and battery life, the Sonys are going to give you Bluetooth 5.3. They support the AAC and SBC codecs, and battery life wise, they'll give you up to 8.5 hours on a charge with ANC on, plus another 21.5 using the case for about 30 hours total. The One More Evo use Bluetooth 5.2, bring LDAC support for high-res audio, dual device connection, about 5.5 hours of battery life with ANC on, and about 8 if you turn it off. The case with them gives you multiple additional charges for decent overall battery life of about 20 hours total. The Raycon Everyday Classic deliver about 8 hours of playback on the earbuds and an impressive 32 hours total with the case. They do feature multi-point connectivity that will let you connect them to 2 different devices simultaneously, but I do want to note that they are using an older build of Bluetooth coming in at 5.0. As far as app compatibility goes, Sony uses their revamped Sound Connect app, which is comprehensive with adaptive sound control that automatically adjusts based on your location and activity. It provides custom EQ options and even ear scanning for personalized 360 audio. The One More app has this Sound ID feature that creates a custom EQ based on your hearing, and this is one of the features that I love about these earbuds, because the EQ that it created for me is pretty much perfect for the type of music that I like to listen to. Other than that, you have a lot of other helpful features inside of the app, such as the ability to see the charge left on both the case and the earbuds. You can execute firmware updates when applicable, and you have your user manual easily accessible through it when you're on the go. The Raycon Everyday Classic earbuds unfortunately do not have an official companion app, so you don't get the level of customization with them as what you'll get with the other 2 pairs. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about the most important thing about these earbuds, and that is going to be the sound quality quality. Starting with the Sony WF-710Ns, they deliver solid all-around sound performance with a good sound stage and bass response. And one thing that I do want to note about these earbuds is that although the clarity is pretty respectable, no matter what EQ you use with them, there's gonna be a slight emphasis on the low end and the bass response, just something that you should be aware of. But overall with them, the clarity is good as long as you don't overdo the EQ in terms of bass, because if you do that, you can get some popping and crackling. The One More Evos really come alive once you complete that sound ID process that I talked about earlier, but out of the box, they're just okay. They're not gonna blow you away. Besides that, these are gonna be the most bass heavy earbuds in the lineup today, but they're not so bass heavy that they distort all of the other frequencies. Overall, these are pretty buttery smooth across the board. And moving on to the Raycon's Everyday Classic earbuds, although they don't sound quite as buttery smooth as the Evos, the sound quality out of the box with them really surprised me, as the highs are nice and clear, the mids are there without being too forward, and they provide a nice thump on the low end as well. You get crisp, clear audio with them with respectable bass as well that doesn't overwhelm the mids and highs. And during my testing, comparing them directly to both the Sony and One More earbuds, the Raycons held their own and in some cases actually sounded more balanced and natural. And I think that the Raycons are tuned really well for the masses because remember, they don't have a companion app. So in my opinion, Raycon did a really good job of making the sound signature for all different types of listening, whether that be podcasts, music, movies, or pretty much anything else that you would use earbuds for. For noise cancellation, I did my normal testing with all three pairs, and I'll be honest, the Sonys performed the best across the board. With it enabled with the WF-710Ns, I could barely hear the road noise and ambient sounds going on around me as cars drove by me and people talked as they walked past me. The One More Evos also offer multi-mode ANC, which is going to consist of strong, mid, wind noise canceling, and adaptive. In strong mode, sitting in my room typing, I could barely hear the keystrokes, and walking outside, the cars and pretty much all of the other environmental noises were barely audible, but not as drowned out as what I got with the Sonys. The Raycon Everyday Classics were not as strong in the ANC department as the other two pairs, but they weren't that far behind either. I'd say with road noise and ambient noises, they were just about right behind the Evos, but when it came to voices, I could hear people talking as they walked by me slightly better than what I got with the other two pairs. In terms of call quality, all three pairs do have built-in microphones for voice calls, so you can take and make voice calls no matter which pair you go for. I've made multiple voice calls with all three pairs, and nobody has complained about how I sounded, but as always, I did take samples just so that you guys can judge for yourselves. Let's check them out. Alright guys, so right now I have the Sonys paired to my iPhone 16 Pro, and as you can see, the audio that you're hearing is coming from the microphones on them. Right now the room is relatively quiet, but I will do my background noise test with all three pairs. Give me a second. Here is the background noise test with the Sonys. This part of the test is aimed at seeing how well the microphones on these earbuds can go ahead and focus on my speech while rejecting some of that noise. So let me know what you guys think. How are they doing? Now I have the One More Evos paired to my iPhone 16 Pro, and this is the quiet room test. Give me a second and I will switch over to the background noise test so you guys can compare. And now I have the simulated background noise playing in the background. So again, this part of the test is aimed at seeing how well the microphones on these earbuds can go ahead and focus on my speech while rejecting some of that noise. So how do these sound in comparison to the others? Now I have the Raycon Everyday Classics paired to my iPhone 16 Pro, and again, this is the quiet room test. So this is how they will sound if you're in a pretty quiet environment, but I will do my background noise test. Give me a second. And here is the background noise test using the Raycon Everyday Classic earbuds. I have kept the level of the background noise at the exact same throughout all of these tests. So let me know what you guys think. Which one performs the best in your opinion? Now here's where things get really interesting, and that's going to be the value proposition. The Sony W710Ns at about $100 on sale offer solid sound quality, good ANC, and Sony's tried and true reputation across earbuds and headphones. The One More Evo, like I said, come in at about $109 right now. They bring high-res audio, good ANC performance, the Sound ID feature that I talked about earlier, and they also feature Qi wireless charging with the case, which is a feature that you don't get with the Sonys, these, but that you do get with the Raycons, which like I said, are significantly cheaper than both of the other pairs. And like I said, right now, you can get the Raycon Everyday Earbuds Classic at about $64, and at that price, they feature active noise cancellation, 32 hours of battery life, multi-point connectivity, IPX4 water resistance, premium build quality, and a sound quality that's really respectable at the price in comparison to the other two pairs. So here's my final verdict, guys, and I think that it's gonna surprise some of you. If you want the absolute best in terms of technical specs and don't mind paying more, the One More Evos are solid across the board and offer the best sound quality in my opinion, with that deeper bass response that doesn't distort the other frequencies. I've had the Evos for several years now and they have never let me down in terms of their performance, but if you're a Sony fan and you want that brand recognition, the WF-710Ns deliver very good all-around performance at a more reasonable price than what you'll have to pay for the 1000 XM4s and 1000 XM5s. But if you want the best bang for your buck, the Raycon Everyday Earbuds Classic are a great choice. So if you want to pick a pair up and try them out for yourselves, make sure you hit the links in the description or in the pinned comment to ensure that you get the most up-to-date pricing and that 20% off. So there you have it, TM Nation. 3 solid earbuds, but one clear winner when it comes to giving you the most bang for your money. Although I know a lot of people tend to sleep on Raycon, and I fall into that category as well, because until I actually pulled the trigger on a pair of their earbuds a while back, I did not think that they brought anything new to the game, but in all reality, they do provide you with good value for what you're getting. But let me know in the comments if you own any of these earbuds, and if you do, tell me what your experience with them has been so far. I really want to know what you guys are rocking out there. But other than that, as always, I appreciate you guys coming through and hanging out with me for a while. I will catch y'all in the next video, but until then, it's your boy Tecmo, and I'm signing out. Peace.